on, guys? This is John, or JohnnyGT. I want to do another video for you guys, a full tire review video on the Atturo, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, AZ850 tire. A very popular cheap tire, especially for the Scat Pack and SRTs, as well as I think Mustangs. You'll see them all over the place. So most likely if you came across this video, you're going to want my input. I've had these tires on for a while now. Don't know the exact miles, but it's been a while because I meant to make this video a while ago. Before I go ahead and get into this video, there is some things I want to discuss with you guys to give you like a heads up, like a disclaimer if you will. So moving into the disclaimer, first things first, I'm not an expert as far as tires are concerned. I've had many sports cars, performance cars, I've gone through many tires, drag radials, etc., but I'm not a tire expert. But where I think I have value and where I think you're going to find this video interesting is that I'm an average guy, and I think the person that, if you're watching this, you're probably more along my lines than, let's say, a professional race car driver. So I do think my opinion does have some type of value. The second disclaimer I want to go ahead and discuss with you guys is as far as my tire size. If you're a subscriber to my channel, you'll go ahead and you'll already know that I have 3 15s in the back, 2 75s up front. Why that is something I want to make sure you guys are aware of, because I have factory rims, or like 9-inch rims, so it's not something any tire expert would ever recommend. I've done videos as far as what that's like, as far as rubbing, etc. Not necessarily to tell you if you should or shouldn't put a 315 in the back, but just to see, so you guys can see what it does, and you can go ahead and make that decision if you think it's a good idea. So there's that disclaimer, and that will, by the way, also potentially affect the performance of the car, because potentially there's going to be a little bit of wiggle room now with the tire and rim, now that the rim is not technically stretching the tire out to its appropriate size. However, that being said, that has very little bearing on me, because the only type of racing that I do is drag racing, where having flex in your tire is not really a big deal, it just helps you out actually. So I will get into handling of how I feel how these tires handle as far as going around turns, etc. I do want to get into drag racing. That is something that I do a lot of, and I think a lot of Scat Pack owners do. So I do want to get into that. While on the street, I don't feel as though these tires are all that great from a performance standpoint. You know, they spin really easily. Granted, the car is 485 horsepower and it is a street tire. I don't really care for it. With that being said, though, when I have taken this car to the track, I cut really good 60 foot. Granted, I think I've always cut good 60 foot. Even in the factory, I've cut a really good 60 foot. So, not necessarily anything new there. But when I was at the track, I did cut as low as a couple times with 1.8 60 foot. So that's really good. I do give a lot of credit to the transmission and the crazy gearing this car has. That definitely helps. As well as I think the track was prepped really, really well. But 1.8, that, I mean, I can't complain. Granted, you're probably watching me release to a Civic right now. That's a little exciting, but that happens. The next thing I want to talk about is how these tires do in rain. So these are a summer performance tires, but don't get it twisted. A summer performance tire is actually supposed to do very good in the rain. The two things that a summer performance tire does not do good in is cold weather and snow, obviously. But they're actually supposed to do a good job in rain. Now, these tires, considering this is a rear-wheel drive car with a 6.4 liter in it, doesn't do terrible in the rain. When it becomes a problem for me is when we have standing water. I guess the tread design doesn't do a good enough job to get the water in and out in enough fashion. I don't know if I'm making sense the way I'm wording that, but it makes sense in my head. So when I'm going through standing water, this car does get to be a little bit sketchy. So fair warning, if you're driving a lot of heavy rain, I'd advise you to potentially take that into consideration and see how other tires do from a performance standpoint in heavy rain. So when it's just raining, they're fine for the most part. You know, keep in mind your type of vehicle you're driving obviously plays a role. But standing water, I get a little nervous when it's raining real heavily and there's some standing water. So that's how the car does in the rain. Let's go ahead and talk about how the car handles. Alright, so to go ahead and kind of demonstrate how this car handles, I'm going to go ahead and go into sport mode, manual mode, because that's when this car is fun. you've seen in other videos, I've always talked about how much fun this car is in sport mode. It really just kind of changed the driving dynamics of the vehicle. But that's not what this video is about. We should be good now. So, what I want to talk about is driving the car spiritedly. I mean, at the end of the day on the road, you're most likely not going to be pushing the car, so at least you shouldn't be, to the point where, you know, you're endangering other people's lives. You're driving the car spiritedly, going around turns in a quick manner. The car itself, is great, and the tires are just fine. So, as you can see, that I just demonstrated right there, the tires did a great job, no problem at all. We'll go around this turn 2 again. Third gear, dip in. We're hitting these turns. It's not a racetrack, but we're definitely just testing these tires out, man, and they hook. Little wheel spin there. There we go. We're gonna go around this turn again. And like I said, when driving spiritedly, is the word I'll use here, it's a pretty good tire, and the car itself is pretty good, especially considering it's a sedan and it's, I don't know, 4,400 pounds, and that's me being nice. Around this again. Just in sport mode. Alright, clear, let's go. So once again, driving spiritedly, the car itself, the tires do a pretty good job, gives you good feedback. Doesn't really lose grip in the front or the rear. And it's a little chilly out today. What are we, 70 degrees? So I mean, you know, there's definitely some heat in the tires now, but overall they do a pretty good job. Alright, so now I want to talk about what happens when you push the envelope of these tires. Maybe on a racetrack or maybe in an emergency situation, you got to do a last second change. I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how this car reacts, how these tires react. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, coming up on this, what I would call an S turn. Brake. And what you're hearing screeching there is the front tires, which is a characteristic of this car. I mean, it's a heavy car with, I'm assuming, some good weight in the front. So that's what you're hearing right there, is those front tires. And this is all stock suspension, by the way. Pretty much the car stock, actually. So when you start pushing the car, the front tires looks break loose, which is, I've actually complained about that in my full review. So unfortunately, with the 275s up front, when you really start pushing, that's what the car does. Let's go ahead and push a little bit more again. That is all front tire. All front tire. Brembo brakes. As you can see, once I go back to driving a little more spiritedly, not necessarily trying to push the vehicle or the tire's limits, it does a fantastic job. In case you're wondering, this car stops really well. Consider how heavy it is. Love these brakes. Alright guys, I want to go ahead and discuss my final verdict. I'm a little hesitant to say this, but I don't really approve the tires. I feel bad saying that because I don't know if it's my fault. You know, kind of going over the disclaimers we discussed. I'll say this. I feel very confident saying this. I think if you want a cheap tire, you're in a budget crunch, you know, it's definitely a tire to consider. I think that's a fair statement. What I also think is a fair statement is I have no intent of buying these tires again. So that should put that in perspective for you guys. These are cheap tires. I mean, I'm probably gonna flash up the price somewhere where I paid for all 4 tires. Keep in mind I got 315s in the back. I mean, that size is an expensive tire size. So for the price point, it is a tire that I would say you can consider, especially if you're in a budget crunch. It does get the job done. You've heard my complaints. If you think you're okay with those complaints, then by all means go ahead and buy them. And keep in mind, you might not even experience the complaints that I had due to the things that I've discussed earlier in the video. With that being said, once again, I have no intent of buying these tires again. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment in the comment box below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. You all know that's a big deal for YouTubers. And if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, guys. Alright, enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out of here.